We rolling. Yo. Can y'all hear me? I just wanted to show out my face mask. But welcome, family. Welcome, kin folks. Back to the Key to the City podcast. You already know who it is. It's your host, your country cousin, your kin folk, Yoni, Keone G. I think I'm going to stop calling myself Yoni because somebody told me what it means in the Indian language. I already do that, but I like it, but I'm not one. Anyway, I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is episode 17. Thank you to everybody that's been supporting, whether you've been liking, commenting, sharing, whatever you've been doing to spread the word. I sure appreciate it. You didn't have to do it, but you did. And what can I say, man? Y'all keep following me. Keep doing what you do, man. And sooner or later, all this hard work going to pay off. You dig that? Hey, cuz. Look at Shanta.
Hey, Shanta.
So, shout out to my last guest on episode 16. Hey, Shanta, let us know if you can hear us good. Shout out to my last guest on episode 16. We had my man Eddie Wright in the building. He's a grill master, chef extraordinaire. He's in the videography, music tech. He making beats, cybersecurity, whatever you want him to do. The man's a jack of all trades. Shout out to my dog, man. We appreciate you stopping through. And just like the episode with Mr. Wright, we're going to keep busting in your head with quality content and quality guests. And tonight is no different. Tonight, I got my kinfolk in the city with me, literally and figuratively. That's right. She's a financial guru. That's what I call her. Definitely financially savvy. She's a private banker. She's a black queen. And she's going to spill a little black girl magic about our finances, especially during these tough times in COVID. You dig that? So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want to welcome y'all to the city, or welcome to the city, my kinfolk, Miss Crystal Fowler. How you doing, Queen?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm well. Hey, Candace. Glad you joined us. How's your day going so far?
Day's going pretty good. I can't complain. I was off, so off days are always a good day.
Oh, yeah, you can't beat that at all. And definitely glad we finally had you on. I need to educate my audience about finances. And today is no better day to do it, no better time to do it, because we got a lot going on. People have lost their jobs. Even if they get a new job, it may not necessarily be what they want, so they don't have enough income to meet their needs. It's a lot going on. But before we get into all that, give us a little bit of background about yourself. Where you from? Where'd you attend college? And things like that.
All right. Well, fair enough. Hey, guys. My name is Crystal Fowler. I am a private banker at one of the largest banks in the United States. But I am originally from San Antonio by way of military brat. I've lived everywhere. I attended Prairie View A&M University. I did go there for my undergrad and my master's degree. So I do have an MBA with the concentration of finance.
Shout out to PV.
Yes. So I have been in the industry for about 12 to 15 years, banking and financial services. And so there's never a lack of new things that I can learn. So anytime I'm able to learn something new, I try to give it to other people so they can utilize it for their own lives.
Now, was money, finance taught in your home? Has it always been like a passion of yours?
No.
You wanted to get rich?
Finances was not taught in my home. So, and it definitely was not a passion of mine. So I guess I kind of fell into the financial services industry and banking just because of my circumstances. So, of course, going to the Prairie View A&M University, college love, end up having a child. And so instead of going home, I decided to stay in school and finish, even though I was in a city to where I didn't have any family. And so, of course, if you're going to make any plans or do anything, you have to make plans. And so, therefore, I had to take a look at everything that was going on, and I made steps to do so. So a lot of the things that I've learned and I utilize and I teach other people, I use for myself, or I've utilized for myself. So I'm not someone who tells someone to do something I don't do it myself. I'm an advocate of, doing what you preach for sure.
Practicing what you preach.
Yes.
Barry White had a song like that a while back. But you don't see a lot of people, especially black females, make it to the level of a private banker. First, explain to my audience what a private banker is. how does that compare to a retail banker that they see every day when they walk into this institution?
Okay, so a private banker works with a certain segment of clientele. So people who, as of right now, is people who have assets of at least 250,000 with our financial institution. And so those individuals are my clients. And so I work with them on various bases, just trying to figure out where can I assist. I work with a lot of business owners, a lot of CEOs, CFOs, decision makers in various companies. So I get a very unique perspective as far as what's going on in the economy outside of what's on the news, and also what people are doing to make sure that their money and their legacy lasts well beyond themselves.
So basically, if they don't have 250,000, they can't even see you.
Not unless I want to see them.
Oh, I dig that. Now, before we get to helping our audience, you also taught finances on the college level as well, right?
I did.
Speak about it.
So about a year or so ago, I had the very unique opportunity to actually teach personal finance back in my alma mater, something that I absolutely love to do. I always said if I had an opportunity to teach it and get paid, I would do it, and I did, so therefore I did it. And it was a great experience. It was great to go back and sow seeds back into college students, and I wish I would have been able to have that same experience as a student myself. But unfortunately, higher education in general does not pay, and I have bills to pay, and they didn't have any other contracts for me, so I had to go back to the banking industry as a result.
Understandable. You always have to make moves and adjust. And Shanta says she's going to have a private bank in 2021.
Yes, just make sure you get a good one, because we are not made equal.
Meaning what? Some people just
don't have the same background, or they just don't have a desire to actually assist folks. So just like any other corporate environment, you have people who are just there for the check. You have people who are there to assist. So I would ask lots of questions, kind of get their idea on the current environment or even their background, and to see if they're passionate about helping people, because it's not an easy job. You have a lot of people who ask for a lot of things, but you have to really enjoy what you do. And therefore, the person that you're working with needs to enjoy what they're doing as well.
Facts. Y'all talking to a true queen, man. I want to pat you on your back. Tell my audience the licenses that you hold. You're not playing with them, please.
I do carry my life and health licenses. I carry my Series 7 licenses, and I carry my 66. I've had both of these licenses since 2010.
Whole decade.
Yeah.
So she know what she's talking about, man. You know how hard it is to get the Series 7? I don't, because I got the Series 6. It's expired, but we're not going to get into that. It's not even about me. So I really want to help my kin folk. There's a lot of people going through some tough times right now, losing jobs. I guess the first aspect I want to start with is like, do you know of, or can you point my audience to any resources outside of unemployment that can help them during this time, or what's some strategies that they can be using financially, whether they have a savings or not?
So a lot of like local municipalities and states are doing things for their constituents. So outside of what the federal government is doing, I do know Harris County is applying to the state and to the government to do additional grants for folks who are unemployed outside of the $200 that people get for unemployment now, down from $600. Outside of that, if you are unemployed, there are several things that you can do. The great thing I love about 2020 is there are so many ways to make money. So Uber Eats, Amazon Flex, anything that's part-time allows you to work at your leisure makes total sense, especially at this time. You can't wait for somebody else to do something for you. You can't really even depend on the benefits from the government, because that's not forever either. So any money that you're receiving, whether you're an essential worker or not, now is the time to kind of put money back, because things are really uncertain. A lot of people are doing a lot of different things, but not everybody's in the same place.
Right.
So if you happen to be in a place where income is a little shaky, or you're not sure if you're going to continue to have your job, it would make sense for you to take advantage of those opportunities.
Please do. And don't be too proud. What up, Mookie? Don't be too proud, man. I used to be out here on everything, cuz when she hit the fan for me, Uber, DoorDash, Postmates, whatever. So if you're too proud to beg, you're going to starve out this bitch.
Right.
So get it how you live. Now, for those that may have had like an emergency savings set up, they might have had 3 to 6 months expenses saved up for situations like this. Before that money runs out, is it a good time to, would you advocate more so holding on to that money or paying off debt?
Ooh, it depends on all that what you have going on. So 3 to 6 months is your reserve for if you're not working. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're not working, you don't want to mess with that money. You want to, especially now, I wouldn't use it for anything to pay off debt. Maybe a consolidation loan, because interest rates right now are very low.
Facts.
Like as close to zero as they will ever get. I've had quite a few people who refinanced, let's say their homes, their cars, or even just consolidate debt based off if they have credit cards, because the rates are so low. So that's an opportunity for you to pay off debt without messing with your reserve funds. It's just too uncertain. I would never use my reserve fund to pay off debt, because that's for just in case. God forbid something happened yesterday and you lost your job, you know you're good for 3 to 6 months. So once that's actually set up, then you can start savings for something else, and that's what I would use to start paying off debt.
Well, you should have told me that first. I already used my savings and paid off all of my credit card debt, so now I got to start over. But if I were to hit rock bottom today, I'd be fucked.
Not as, I mean, you have your credit cards, but you know it's not free. Cash is free,
right?
So you're paying for that.
Now I found something interesting that we were discussing off camera, and you said, although the pandemic is going on, because rates are low, it's a perfect opportunity to buy a home.
Yes, it is.
Explain.
It is.
That sounds crazy right now.
I've never seen, so if you are in a financial position to where you have your savings together, your debt's at a good level, and maybe you've been saving to buy a house, now is the time to do it. Rates have never been this low. I've seen rates as low as like 2.5% for mortgages.
Facts.
And I've never seen that in my life. On average, I think I bought my first house when I was 23. The rate on that was 5%. I'm not sure what my credit score was because I didn't look at it, but 5 compared to 2.5 is a big difference, especially if you're paying on a 30-year mortgage. That can also save money long term, and even put more money back in your pocket depending on how you, refinance your home if you are already a homeowner. So now is the time, like I said, to refinance your home, or if you may have a car that has a high rate, and maybe at that time you weren't as stable as you are now, even though things are going on, that would be a good time to look into that too.
What about someone that's in a financial bind? They may have run into being laid off. They have equity in their home. Would you advise them to get a line of credit, equity line of credit, to help buy time till they find another gig, or what?
I would do it before, if possible, because a lot of lenders.
Speak up.
I'm sorry. I told you I speak low. I told you this already. So in the event, so let's say if you're laid off, or if you're in between jobs, a lot of financial institutions are working with their customers with payments on various things. They are, deferring payments with your mortgage. You can even look for forbearance. Those payments can be tacked on to the end of the mortgage. Student loans, same thing. I have my student loans automatic. They haven't been drawn out because the federal government's decided I don't have to pay them. So, okay. Car notes, same thing. A lot of car companies and financing companies are giving people options if they've lost their jobs, because this is a unique situation to where everybody has been touched one way or another, whether you're rich, poor, or in between.
Thanks.
So it makes sense for them to work with the folks who are doing business with them. In any situation, if there's a pandemic or not, it's better for you to talk to your financial company than avoid them, because they're more willing to work with you than chase you. And then if you don't say anything, they think that you're not wanting to do anything anyways, and that's it causes issues for you further down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But it's if you're looking for other opportunities as far as a safety net, home equity line of credits are good, but a lot of financial institutions, especially now, are not going to lend to someone who is not employed.
Mm-hmm. I got a few more questions kind of related to COVID. For those who just tuned in, we got the Queen Crystal Fowler in the city with us. A couple more things related to COVID. The people who requested or applied for the $10,000. What do you know about that? It's been a lot of fraud going around here, man, and it seemed like the government was just tossing money out. You get 10,000. You get 10,000. But is that gonna come back and bite people in the ass, or what advice you got for people that try to take advantage of that?
Yes. So be prepared. Hold on, what did Shanta say?
Shanta says she read that banks are anticipating delinquencies even though they made record profits last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
On those loans?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Les, that's what we trying to do.
So all of you folks who received the $10,000 grants with no businesses, just using your name and bought crap, just know they're gonna come back and audit you.
Facts.
So I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah,
I don't know. You may not be going to jail, but they're gonna fine you because there's way too many people who did it. There's too many people. Because even with the payroll protection program, you still have to prove that you use those funds for payroll. There are certain things that you can use those documents or those funds on within the document. If you happen to get a disaster loan from the SBA, it's not forgivable, but it's at a fixed rate for 30 years. Same thing. You don't have to pay for it on a year, but they could come back and ask you, what did you use those funds for? So if you don't have any records of what you use those funds for, and it tells you on the website what you can use that money for, then according to, I know the disaster loan, that if you don't use those funds for what it's meant for, they can actually have you pay back more than 1.5% of what the balance is. So it's in your best interest, if you did take advantage of those loans, to try to do your best to fall within those parameters. If for whatever reason you've already spent your money, then I would start saving.
Facts. And my homeboy Renzo just said they didn't give him shit. Why was it so easy for people with legit businesses to get looked over as opposed to people who have, was it first come, first serve almost?
Yeah, pretty much. It was kind of like first come, first serve. I'm not too well versed with the grants, but I know with the payroll protection program, it was definitely kind of first come, first serve. Hey, Aunt.
What up, cuz? And Shanta said, keep those receipts.
Yeah.
Definitely. Because I know people that's been out there. I ain't going to tell you how I know, but I know I done seen your transactions. Louis Vuitton, Michael Kors, and the big screen store. What you need that for a business for? Your ass going to jail.
Facts. Maybe not jail, but fine.
So let's transition from COVID a little bit. Let's discuss home ownership. And I got a good question around it because I'm talking about building generational wealth. I'm not a homeowner yet, but I'm looking to do so by next year. But I was thinking maybe I should get an investment property first. Cheaper. I'm not planning to live in it long term.
Right.
You think that's smart before I have my primary residence or what?
I do. We've actually discussed this not too long ago.
I know, but they wasn't here.
Yes. So, home ownership. So one of the biggest challenges right now for a lot of people is, of course, the cost of homes in certain areas that they want to live in. I'm a single parent, and so I live in an area that's an affluent area, but I rent an apartment because it's expensive. So one of the alternatives of doing that is actually purchasing like a rental property, preferably multifamily, to where you have multiple streams of income under one structure. So when that happens, they actually, and you are ready to apply for your own home mortgage, they will consider whatever income you're receiving from that rental property as income for your household. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like creating, of course, it is creating additional streams of income. For me, because I am a single parent, it's like that secondary source of income that I would have got if I was married or with somebody else. Right. So look at your options. A lot of people want to purchase their primary home, and that's fine too if you don't want to be a renter or a landlord. But there are various ways to do what you want to do. You just have to look it up, mm-hmm. Look it up or ask questions.
Yeah, that's my whole idea behind it. Let somebody else pay for my mortgage. But you know, I got a ways to go with that. Let us know if y'all have any questions. We're gonna keep the queen by 5 more minutes because she is busy. I want to know, how can people make a larger return on their money but somewhat safe right now? I'm not necessarily talking about the stock market. We know savings accounts are not paying anything. Mm-mm. What are the options for people 25 to 45 do we have? We can't do an annuity.
You can do an annuity.
At our young age?
You can. You can do an annuity at
Talk
0.
to them.
I'm thinking out loud. I'm sorry. So yes, you could actually. There's a lot of different options. Right now, I wouldn't put anything in the savings account. Not if you're looking for a return. Let me put it like that. Let me rephrase. So I wouldn't, if you're looking for a return on your money right now, what we call deposit accounts, savings, CDs, anything that is FDIC insured is not going to give you a good return. One thing that you can do.
What about a flower board?
What is that?
I'll tell you about it later. A susu. I'll tell you about it.
I know what you're talking about. No. No. Anyways. I'm sorry. He got me sidetracked. So I have a trading account that I work on, but it automatically has like a certain amount of money that's drafted from my checking account every month for me to trade. And I do that because whatever amount is going is money that I'm okay with losing. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to like kind of get into invest, because that's the only thing right now that's gonna get your money or make your money do anything right now, to be completely honest, would be investing in stocks in a short amount of time. But you have to do some research. You have to understand that whatever you put in the stock market are funds that you're okay with losing, pretty much. So you have to kind of be wary of that. I always advise to kind of go into companies that you already do business with. Right. So I do, I eat at Chick-fil-A all the time on Chick-fil-A. My phone's with Verizon. I own stock in Verizon. I work under JP Morgan Chase, so I have stocks in JP Morgan Chase. So really and truly look for things that you can put your money into that's going to pay you some sort of way. I had, and I see your question, Leslie, I'll get with you. So I've had a question by a lot of people on like different things that they can do. You have to make sure that your foundation is sound, period. So looking for investments is not the first place to start. Making sure that your foundation is set as far as your budgeting goes, making sure that your savings habits are already established, making sure that you have 3 to 6 months. Once you have that, then by all means invest. Some people would say to pay off your debt. That's not necessarily needed to invest. People even invest on margin or debt. So there's a lot of ways to do it. Leslie asks, how do you feel about market-linked CDs? Market-linked CDs will work, but with the fluctuation of interest rates, it's kind of shaky. So, of course, market-linked CDs, if it's a mutual fund, has hundreds of different CDs with different maturity dates. Mm. So, of course, the longer the maturity date, so let's say if you have a maturity date of 20 years, the more interest you will be getting. And the shorter the maturity date, the less interest you'll be getting. So those are safer than regular stocks, not as speculative. But with anything, you have to also consider any type of risk. So there's always some type of risk. So with CDs, it's interest risk. Right now, interest rates are low. I will look for anything that pays a dividend, because dividends are based off of the profit that the company has declared for that year, and they're paying that out to their shareholders. So legitimately, anything that I have pays me a dividend. My life insurance pays me a dividend. My car insurance pays me a dividend. Yeah, it does. Anything you're putting your money into should give you some type of return, point blank period.
Facts. So what I took from that is, first, make sure you have a solid foundation established. That would be 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up.
Yes. So 3 to 6 months is for 3 months is for a two-person income household. 6 months is for a single person income household. Because very rarely are two people unemployed at the same time. And then, of course, if you're a single parent household, it gives you 6 months to find to find a job. A lot of people will do 6, some people will do 12. It's going to be based off of your comfort zone. Some people say, I don't want to see lower than this dollar amount in my account, and that's fine too. But just make sure it's enough to cover your monthly expenses, essential expenses. So cable is not essential.
It's not.
Going out and partying is not essential.
It's not.
Buying new clothes every weekend or every month is not essential. It's not.
It's not.
Just the things that, house note, car note, childcare, insurances, your utilities, even your debt, whatever your minimum payment is on your credit cards. Just to make sure that those stay afloat as well, because that doesn't go away because you're unemployed. Right now, like I said, the financial institution are working with us, but that's only because of the pandemic. But typically, it's a little bit more challenging.
All right. We're getting ready to close it out shortly. If somebody, talk to the queens out there. You might have a young queen watching, or they might have a young princess watching. How can they become a private banker? Give them some steps. I don't try to be extra, but give them some steps. Oh, my homeboy said, what about Hennessy? Is that essential?
No, it's not.
You can buy stock in Hennessy. Is Hennessy publicly traded?
I don't know, but it'd be good to look into.
Check and see if there's some stock out there in Hennessy, my boy.
Right. If you buy Hennessy every weekend, you should own some stock.
But what's the path to becoming a private banker?
Well, I kind of fell into it. All these things.
Yeah, you fell into it, but now.
Yeah. It's various ways, really and truly. Most people don't understand or don't know that you don't have to have like a college degree to be in the financial services industry. I wish I would have known that before I spent all
it's
my money.
It's more about experience.
You can work your way up through the company or a company, being knowledgeable about whatever you're doing. There's always going to be people who feel like that they know more than you, and that's fine. I like tough situations because I learned something new. Practice what you preach, for sure. You can't tell somebody what to do with their money if you're not doing right yourself. And then it needs to be something that you enjoy doing, because, dealing with people, especially folks with a lot of money, can be challenging. It's not for the faint of heart. So I've been in this industry for a while, so I can kind of...
They're assholes, people. They're assholes. They
can be a challenge. But really, private banker or any type of finance industry, I like people. So I didn't want to be in a cube, crunching numbers. This is money talk. This is something that everybody gets a check. Everybody has a job. So therefore, everybody should know how to handle their money.
I got you, cuz. They coming. These right here, just promos right here, but I'll be launching hopefully next month. So stay looking out for that. So I don't think we have any questions left. Anybody with any other questions before we let this queen go? She done dropped a lot of gems on us today. I'm glad you stopped through. It's all about each one teach one, and I try to bring guests on that can do that for us. Because I definitely don't know everything. I'm always looking to learn, and I appreciate you. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
I salute you, everything you're doing. And this is a single parent, people. She ain't letting nothing stop her. So let's leave the excuses out. Let's go out here and get it and be the best that we can. How can people find out? Do you have a business page?
I do, and I need to start updating it. So it is Educated Money, very much like Educated Lady, but money instead of lady. Instead of lady, it's gonna say money. So that is a public page. Mm-hmm. Any advice for freshmen, college
Kendra.
students? Hey, Pooh, for finances. Yeah.
Woo, it's gonna be tough on you, mama. She finna burn some money up.
You have to set a budget. You have to. There needs to be a set dollar amount that's agreed upon between parent and student. Because if not, then that dependency becomes real and becomes your burden. I have a 13-year-old. He doesn't get any allowance. He gets paid based off of his grades and reading books. He earns his money. So there needs to be a budget that's set between you and your child, and any gaps, they have to figure out how to fill it.
Ooh, that's like that.
So it's a part-time job, working on campus, because at the end of the day, if you weren't there, they'd have to figure it out themselves. And so we have to take care of ourselves as parents. I know we want to do all that we can for our kids, and we do until they're 18, right? And maybe even after 18, 20, 21, until they get solid. But don't do it to where it's detrimental to what you are trying to do, because they have more time to recuperate than you do.
Thanks.
So, I love my kid, I do, but I work hard. And he's got his time. So it's my time to make sure that I'm taken care of once he carries on.
Facts. That's some great advice. Congratulations, Jada.
Yes, Jada.
Good job. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. We sure enough appreciate you stopping through to the city today. I appreciate everybody that tuned in, man, that was engaged, asking questions. Because, hey,
yes, thank you.
We don't know what we don't know. And now we can spread this information to other people that want to find out. So I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all tune in with me next week. We about to get into some political guests because we got election season coming up. It's going down in the city. You dig that? So thank you for my guest, the Black Queen, Crystal Fowler. I'm your host, Keone G. They call me Yoni, and we are out this thing. Peace and love. Peace.